Hello and welcome to YHTV's special event. I'm Christina Souza Ma, and I welcome you back over and over again. We have a very exciting event happening here in Los Angeles, California in the next week. We're very excited. It's almost like 8 days a week. It is the first Tadasana International Festival of Yoga and Music. And it's exciting. And as most of you know, I am not a yogini. I love yoga. I love the world of yoga. And one of these days when I'm going to be able to, I can really immerse myself back into my daily practice again, etc. But I'm so busy just putting all this together for all of you. So I would like to introduce you all to Tommy Rosen, the founder of the Tadasana Festival. Hi, Tommy. How are you?
Doing really great. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Tommy, can you give us a little bit about your background?
Well, how far back do you want me to go? I mean, this could be long.
Well, as far back as you'd like to go. How did you first get into yoga? How's that?
Yeah, we'll start there. So most people who know me know that I have a history of drug and alcohol addiction in my life, and that my path of recovery began in 1991. And interestingly, my path of yoga also began in 1991 when I walked off the street into this woman's yoga class in San Francisco. And I literally stood back and watched this person move. And I had never seen anybody move with that kind of freedom before. And I wanted it right away. I really wanted that freedom. It was such an outer manifestation of an inner issue, which was this quest for freedom. And I started to get into yoga very slowly, sort of, a little bit, 1 foot in at a time, 1 toe in at a time, you might say. And I would take an immersion and be invested in it for 30 minutes at a time, or 30 days at a time, and then I'd take a break and come back to it 3 months later, and it was sort of an in and out kind of thing. What basically happened for me is 12 years into that path of recovery, my back ended up going out on me, and so I came to a much deeper, much more sincere practice through pain, really, through the necessity to have yoga. And so basically I found Kundalini yoga, and as a result of that, yoga became a daily part of my life. So
you weren't familiar with yoga before that, like before you stepped into that yoga studio?
Well, I mean, of course you'd heard of yoga, you'd seen it around. You understood that people were starting to take an interest in it, but I'd never practiced at that point. And that was 1991. That was 20 years ago. And we've seen a lot of changes in the world of yoga in the last 20 years. And
absolutely.
It's been really something. And we see now that yoga has grown into this, phenomenon in the United States, where you have things like festivals going on, where there's like a festival of yoga in the United States, where before you'd have, music festivals and other kinds of festivals, but there had never really been yoga festivals before, not on this level. So
right.
It's interesting.
Very exciting. And so are you originally from San Francisco? You were brought up there?
I grew up in New York City, and I grew up in many ways completely disconnected from myself and from the earth, with this longing and desire for connection with the planet. I always loved being outdoors. I loved nature. I loved being in New York City growing up, but I kind of always knew I was going to leave. I was one of those kids that when I got out in nature, my spirit was so lit up that I just wanted to get out.
Well, if you grew up in the city, I can imagine. All you have is Central Park.
There was Central Park. There was Central Park, and it's a beautiful park, and thank God there's that.
Yes.
But when you get out into the real outdoors, for me it was like, wow, I'm destined to be closer to some of this.
Wonderful. So you came out here, you basically got yourself rebalanced, got into the yoga atmosphere, and that's quite something when you have back issues, and you started out with Kundalini.
Yeah, well, necessity is the mother of invention, they say. And I found Kundalini yoga, and my life teacher, a man named Guru Prem, found them just at the right moment in my life when I was really ready to learn and really tired of feeling the way that I had been feeling. And even though I'd been on this wonderful path of recovery, there was so much work, inner work, that I had to do, and I didn't have the tools and the capability to get, deep into those tissues to get the issues out, so to speak. So
yes, so your body had all these issues trapped up in your body.
I think it's one of the biggest misconceptions about recovery from addiction is that it's not just a spiritual path, it's not just a mental problem, an emotional problem, but it's a very physical problem. And the physical part of it's not like you just put down drugs and alcohol and all of a sudden it's not like you're cured, right? You've got stuff in you, you've got emotional trauma in you as well that has to be cleared out. So it takes a real focused effort with scientific proven methods like yoga.
That's really wonderful to hear you share that with so many people out there who have been trying to find rebalance in their life, and they don't realize it is really whole. It is really about the holistic part of trying to find that rebalance. So it's really wonderful to hear you say that. So Tommy, here you are. Okay, so you practice, the Kundalini yoga. So I have a question for you, as I would with a lot of the yoginis that are out there. I mean, yoga is not, or it's not now. It's not a inexpensive modality to immerse ourselves in. I mean, it's gotten quite costly to go to certain classes, etc., and to go to certain trainings. How was it for you back in the 90s when you start to immerse yourself through? I mean, did you work at some form or some other job and begin to slowly immerse yourself further and deeper into it because it was more affordable?
Yeah, it was never, for me, it was never about, the yoga in the first 10 years of my practice of yoga, it was really like, it was very body centered. Like, I'll do these practices. It makes my body feel better. It does calm my mind. And that's a nice side effect. And that's about as deep as it is for me. It was a good workout, a good sweat. And I remember, my early days with yoga, it was so painful. It's very difficult, like for the body to begin to open up,
That's right.
Like, and a lot of people forget, like, God, I remember a teacher saying to me in Downward Dog, and I was shaking and suffering through this long hold in Downward Dog. And the teacher saying, someday you're going to consider this a rest pose.
Oh,
and I thought to myself, I don't know how that's ever going to be possible. But now in retrospect, I understand that my body opened up to a point and literally the muscular tissue of my body, broke through we broke through the fascia covering the muscles and the tendons lengthened and the muscular tissue lengthened and blood and oxygen got into parts of my body that perhaps it hadn't been into for a long time. I started to heal. I started to feel better. And lo and behold, being a Downward Dog became a rest pose for me. And became a place of respite and just really sweet, But with regards to the expense of yoga, we're talking about the modern day practice of yoga, right? We're not monks and we're not nuns and we're not off in some mountain, cloistered away. We're living in the real world. And as a yoga practitioner, if you love yoga, you're going to spend, just in terms of classes, if you really love yoga, you're going to spend $150 a month. You'll get an unlimited pass somewhere. And if you think about that, that's really not that expensive. If you're going to go and drop in on a single class and that class costs, say, $20 or $25, if you add that up, that gets pretty expensive.
Oh, yes.
And of course, if you want to take it deeper and you want to go on retreats and you want to do certain workshops or teacher trainings, that can get very, very expensive. But if you want to educate yourself in any way, and you go to university or you take some advanced course in a topic of interest to you, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars, no matter what the subject. If you want to get good at something or you love something and you want to do more of it, usually when you do these, you have these immersive experiences, it costs.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't say yoga is astronomically expensive. I would just say that people aren't used to spending money on this new activity called yoga. And now that like yoga has become a real part of people's lives, and people are starting to like spend, like they look at their bills at the end of a month and they're like, Jesus, I just spent $600 on yoga this last month, on clothing, on a mat. I had my $150 membership at my yoga studio. Next month I think I'm going to go on a retreat. That's costing me $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
In July I want to go on a teacher training. That's going to cost me $3,500.
Mm-hmm.
So sure, it just depends on how far you take it. But to me, I just think it's a part of your life that brings so much joy and so much health and wellness into your life. It's a great use of money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because it's bringing balance, the overall balance to every individual. That's really wonderful. So that's,
oh yeah.
So from San Francisco, now you're here in Los Angeles.
It is true. I live in Venice, California with my incredible wife, Kia Miller. She's also a yoga teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved down here about 9 years ago. And really we wanted to be closer to the business of creativity. So film and video and writing. And we ended up meeting our life teachers, our spiritual teachers, and the rest is history. We really followed the yogic path as practitioners and as teachers. And now I'm adding this other element as a producer of large scale events.
There you go. What have you stepped into?
Oh my goodness. If I knew then what I know now.
Yes. Been there, done that. So I take my hat off to you. That's why for me it's very special that you're doing what you're doing. And so, I mean, so you are basically fully trained in Kundalini, the Kundalini form.
Well, I'm trained as a Kundalini yoga teacher. I'm certified. I'm also certified in Vinyasa yoga.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent, I guess I'm what you would call a 500-hour, I forget what the Yoga Alliance calls it. It's RYT.
Oh, right.
500-hour teacher. So I've dual training.
So, and basically you teach both forms?
Yeah, I do teach both forms. And in certain cases, I'll teach classes which are straight up Vinyasa flow.
Mm-hmm.
Other cases, I'll teach straight up Kundalini yoga. But mostly there'll be a mixture of two things in a single class format.
Oh, fantastic. That's interesting.
It's neat. I find that every kind of yoga seems to have something that every other kind of yoga is missing. So there's,
it sounds like religion.
Well, exactly. That's exactly right. And, beware of people who tell you that their way is the only way.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's really, that's a troubling thought. There's so many ways to get there. And
I also believe that depending on the individual, one modality is going to work so much better for them at that present moment in their life as opposed to another modality.
That's right. That's right. Different people need different things at different times.
Right.
And, for me, Kundalini yoga happened to be incredibly transformative. And I find that when you practice that, it's wonderful. And when you also have a vinyasa, an asana practice, that's an incredible combination. And pretty much for me, it's proven to be everything that I feel like I need.
Fantastic. And do you and your wife ever teach together, side by side? Yeah,
we do. We've taught a number of workshops together. We'll teach, everything's based in yoga, right? This path, but sometimes we'll teach about sacred partnership. People tell us how wonderful our relationship appears to them. And so we express a little bit about, the joys and the challenges of being together and how to navigate life well as a couple and how yoga plays into all those things. So sometimes we teach those kinds of workshops, and at a lot of the festivals and conferences where we teach, people will ask us to come and teach something together. And so we'll teach a class, more of a traditional yoga class together, and we'll sort of go, back and forth with each other.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so now comes this wonderful event that you have on, I do believe it starts on the 20th, correct?
That's right. Friday, April 20th. How many days is that from now?
I think it's 8 more days.
Yeah. 8 days away to the realization of an incredible dream for our community. Certainly for me as an individual, for my business partner. It's a conversation that we started about 7 or 8 years ago. And the idea was to create a destination event really focused and centered around yoga, meditation, and bringing in world cultural music. And really, it's this combination of music and yoga, which is in some respects differentiating, but very, very powerful and just neat. You know, there's this long-standing relationship between yoga and music.
Absolutely.
And we're talking in our case, in our modern day sort of practice, what we're seeing is, yes, you have devotional music, but you're also seeing a lot of world music find its way into the yoga studios around the world. So we thought, wow, wouldn't it be neat to create live concerts within the context of a yoga class at a festival? So it's, if someone came to our festival and they said, well, you know, where's the music stage? I'd say, well, go into the yoga tent. You know, it's all happening in there. Like, you go into practice and you have this concert experience. So that's one of the neat things.
Very cool.
Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. It does. It's very exciting because I mean, you do hear of some of that. I think that they had, I can't remember what they were doing at one time. Was it the Mala Festival?
The Bali Spirit Festival?
Is it the Bali Spirit Festival?
Oh, you mean
the Mala Festival here in LA?
You're talking about oh, for goodness sakes, I'm forgetting the name of it.
Yeah.
It was Shiva Ray's event. Global Mala.
Global Mala. There you go. Global Mala. And I do believe, I think the first one they had was they had different groups come in and they did play sort of the music on the stage, and different individuals will come and they were doing like the 101 sun salutations, etc., to all the different types of music that was happening. But with you, I mean, the list of the musicians and all that are coming to the Tadasana Festival. You've taken it like 10 times larger. It's a beast. It's a huge. It's truly one of those examples. Like, be careful what you pray for. We really wanted a world-class event, and we wanted to bring musicians from literally all over the world, and they're coming. And many of them, you know, I think, for example, right now of DJ Chebby Sabah. And Chebby Sabah is a world-renowned DJ, and his music has been literally played by countless yoga teachers around the world in countless classes. And Chebby, you know, I guess about a year or two ago, he discovered that he had stomach cancer. And he's actually quite advanced with it. He's like, I guess what the doctors would say, stage 4 stomach cancer, you know. But here's this guy who's like made people happy on dance floors around the world, whose music has has sort of infiltrated the yoga experience around the world. And we reached out to him, you know, through my business partner Fabian, who knew him, and we said, look, Chebby, we want you to be here. And he said, you know, I'm recovering from this thing, you know, I'm in India right now, and I'm trying to take care of myself. And we described the vision to him, you know, and he said, all right, man, well, if it's like that, I'll come, you know, I'll come. And we were like, wow, Chebby, you know, it's amazing. Very cool.
So he's flying over from India, and we're going to take care of him with really healthy food and you know, make sure he's real comfortable, and he's going to come and rock it out. So you've got Chebby Sabah in the house with people like Shiva Ray, Elena Brower, Amy Ippoliti, and all these extraordinary teachers. And these combinations of, in this case, Chebby and these yoga teachers never happened before live, ever. And it may, in fact, never happen again. And it's just these once-in-a-lifetime moments are just so precious, so precious. Absolutely. So we have 60 concerts over the course of 3 days within these yoga classes. So, you know, Krish Kale from India, the tabla master, Hassan Hakmoun from Morocco. You got Masood Ali Khan, who lives here and is a part of the Venice community. Anne-Marie Solo, you've got Icona, all this exceptional, amazing musicianship coming and showing up and performing live. It's so incredibly exciting. I don't have, one thing I want to tell you is we did release a compilation of all this music for free. And you can get it now. It's called Sounds of Tadasana, and it's on our website. And thanks to our friends over at YogiTunes at yogitunes.com, we created a partnership with them, and we went to each of our 30 musicians and got a free track of music from each of them. And we said, okay, we're going to put this on a free compilation, and we hope some people will download it. And I guess in about something like in 10 days, like 10,000 people had downloaded it.
That's fabulous.
It was extraordinary. It was amazing. Have you heard the music?
No, not yet. So now I've got to go to your site and check that out.
You got to download it. It's all free. It's such a big file. It takes a little while to download, but this music will blow your mind. You'll get a real taste of all these musicians who are coming.
Fantastic. Oh, it's very, very exciting. Now you're hoping to do this as a yearly event, correct?
Yeah, we'll do an annual event. It'll be based, our flagship event will be here in Santa Monica. So every Earth Day weekend here, here in LA, I would say it'd be more accurate. In Los Angeles, every Earth Day, you can count on the flagship Tadasana Festival taking place. And we have intentions to go across the United States with this and to many countries around the world as well. Not necessarily as an Earth Day event, but as a yoga music festival that will take place at various points throughout the year.
Fantastic. And so would you start, so the Earth Day Tadasana Festival will always be here in LA. And then so what I'm getting is that you are hoping to do other festivals like throughout the US and then throughout the world after that.
Yes, we have intentions to go to various places in Europe, in Asia and South America in the next 2 years. So the hope is to probably be in somewhere between 5 and 10 locations in 2 years from now. And it's a super exciting and very quick trajectory, and we'll see how it plays out. As I say that, like my stomach tightens a little bit. I'm just like, holy mackerel, we've got a lot of work to get this yoga, spread this message of yoga and meditation and music out there into the world. But it's super exciting.
It is exciting. It is, I understand, a lot of work. So people who are coming to the Tadasana Festival, basically, they're coming to actually take classes, and while they're taking the class, they're enjoying the concert at the same time.
Yeah, that's part of it. There's sort of 2 or 3 different types of people that we've envisioned would really there's some. I mean, I feel there's something for everybody at this festival. But if I had to guess, the people who will come here first and foremost are either curious about yoga, or they already have experienced it and really love it and want to have this kind of experience. And they'll come, and there's a lot going on at the festival aside from the yoga classes and the music. We've got 3 days of lectures in our lecture series is presented by the Daily Love, which is a great online publication. And so we have the Daily Love Lounge speaker series, and we have presentations by 30 people over 3 days who are leaders in the field of diet, health, nutrition, inspiration, personal transformation, of course, environmental sustainability. A lot of amazing presentations being given. So you could come and hang out at our festival, get a great smoothie, go to the Daily Love Lounge lecture series, and that might be your experience of Tadasana. Sure, maybe you'll take a class or two if you want to, but there'll be people that actually come here that, there's so much else going on, and we have 75 companies that are coming to exhibit. So we put this massive eco marketplace together as well. And the eco marketplace, by the way, is free and open to the public for 3 days. So anybody can come to the eco marketplace, and it's going to be a happening scene down there. So if you were not particularly interested in yoga, or you thought, I just want to go get a hit of what's going on down there, you could just come down. It's right at the beach. We're literally at the beach in Santa Monica. It's so beautiful. Right. And it's projected to be about 80 degrees. So wherever you're at, I mean, it's hard to beat the weather when it gets nice here. So come and join us for that, if not for the yoga and the music as well.
Fantastic. Okay, so people can just come and go through the marketplace.
That's right.
And but to enter the events themselves, there is a cost to the event itself. Would you want to share that cost, or?
Sure. So our daily price is $99, and I think the 3-day pass now is $295. And there's a special that came up this week thanks to Lululemon and our friends at Elephant Journal, who made it possible for us to offer $199 3-day passes, which is incredibly inexpensive. And so if you are even on the fence or thinking, God, I want to go to this thing, or it's a little pricey for me, I'm not sure what to do, it would be hard to beat a 3-day immersive, life-affirming, soul-enriching experience like this for $199. That'd be pretty incredible.
And what are the hours each day?
The yoga begins at 8 a.m. each day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, April 20, 21, and 22, and it goes until 7 p.m. each night. And we have a great partnership with LA Yoga magazine, and they released our entire program in their current April issue. So if you get, actually have it here somewhere, yeah. If you get this copy of LA Yoga magazine, this is Masood Ali Khan, by the way, who's one of our artists. If you get this and you open up to page 70, you will see the entire, you'll see our entire program in there. It's 20 pages long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we also have a whole night concert series, which we haven't spoken about, which goes on. All these incredible musical artists who are performing in yoga classes during the day will be out in clubs around Santa Monica performing concerts at night over the course of the weekend. So,
oh, that's very cool.
It's really an amazing event. Yeah, we're not going to be sleeping too much that weekend. And we encourage you just get enough rest, but really take in as much music as you can.
That's okay. A little yoga nidra, and you're all set to go.
There you go. Exactly.
Fantastic. So after the event, you can just follow these different artists to wherever they're going to, and still keep enjoying the evening with them.
That's right. Exactly.
Very cool. And is that also listed in the program where they will be, or is that going to be when people get to the show that they'll know where these artists are performing?
Our tickets are on sale for the evening concert performances as well. They're also listed in our program. We've got a whole number of things going on, and they're not hard to find. If you go to our website once again, and you click on a link, the link is you'll see the word Epic, EPIC on our homepage. Just click on Epic, and you'll see all the extra listings of different things that you'll be interested in knowing about at our event.
Fantastic. So it's TadasanaFestival.com. Is that correct?
That's right. I'm going to have to spell that out because, who really knows how to say this word or spell it?
Well, wait. Before you even do, what does Tadasana mean?
Yeah, Tadasana. It means mountain pose in Sanskrit.
Oh, that's right.
And it's the first pose in all of yoga. And it's the pose that we continually return to. It's really our center, our compass, if you will. And it's very meaningful for us to have an event called Tadasana. And so it's Tadasana Festival.com, TADASANA Festival.com.
Now, I hope everyone knows how to spell festival.
Me too. Really do.
But that's okay. We usually have a link to you on our page anyways after this.
Thank you.
So that's really wonderful. So what else can you share with us? Okay, so we have the open marketplace for people who just want to get a little bit of a feel, and they can shop as well. And usually at most of these festivals, there's a lot of different products, not just to do with yoga, but a holistic world and etc. Great clothes, things like that usually.
Fantastic clothing, cosmetics, everything, of course, organic and good for the body. We have an offering called the Beauty Bar, which is an opportunity for people to have different beauty treatments, all with organic cosmetics and bath and body products. We've got jewelry, everything that goes along with the lifestyle of health, wellness, yoga. You can find it here, and it's exciting. The curation of our marketplace has been handled by these two incredible women in Casey and Melissa. They're just extraordinary, and they've done such a good job building out an offering that a city like Los Angeles would come down to. And no matter who you are, whether you're the most open-hearted person or maybe you're a little bit jaded, whatever your deal is, you could come down to this festival and you'd be like, wow, this is cool. Okay, this is amazing. Wow, look at this, look at that. Wow, look at all these things we can do, you know?
Right, that's fantastic. And then so during the day, they can go to their classes or the workshops that you're offering.
Lectures as well.
Lectures. And of course, there's always food. There cannot not be food.
Just a ton of amazing food. I mean, I say to people, you know, you'll come for the yoga, you'll stay for the food. And it's a little bit like that. You know, we've got gelato, we've got extraordinary smoothies, we've got amazing salads and soups and wraps and amazing crepes. And I mean, just come down and check it out. It's really something.
Fabulous. And in the evening, they can go lounge around and have a drink and kick back, right?
in the venues around Santa Monica, you'll be able to experience what I would consider to be some of the most extraordinary musical moments that will come to this city, or certainly has come to this city. And that's saying a lot for Los Angeles. These are very unusual collaborations. And to bring this eclectic group of musicians together in the ways that we're doing it's really unique and it's going to be beautiful.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds very exciting. And you know, I'm sure, I mean, we definitely will be there to definitely meet you in person finally.
Yeah. Looking forward to that, Christina. Thank you.
Absolutely. And we'll definitely try to do as much coverage as we can for you during the live events and the festivals as well. So we look forward to meeting you in person, Tommy, and your wife, of course, and your big team.
Can't wait to meet you all as well. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for sharing about your festival. And we wish you all blessings, that it may be very prosperous and loving and fun, and that, as you say, it should gravitate to everyone. If something is being done from the heart, it'll take off.
Thank you, Christina. Yeah. And if anybody still wants to hop on there and come join us, tickets are still available at TadasanaFestival.com. And we hope to see you here.
Right. And they can also buy it at the door, can't they?
Oh, yeah. You can just walk right up to our festival and come be a part of it. Right. Just step on up.
Perfect. So just in case for those people who don't know what they're doing that weekend, you can just step right up, as Tommy says, and purchase your ticket for that day or those 3 days for such a good rate. Thank you, Lululemon.
Right. Exactly.
Great. Thank you so much, Tommy. It's been a real pleasure meeting you, and thank you for sharing a part of your life and how yoga has transformed you. And it was meant to be. Look where you're at now. You're an inspiration for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.